So we have done enough discussions, but the basics and something more than that. But the best thing we can do is when we practice it ourselves and we learn from that as well. And we try to improve, but when we have a script, we have a role we can play with. So a lot of importance goes to the writer, who is giving a lot to the writing, to write the roles, to create those situations, because many people are driven by whether it's a protagonist or an antagonist, a hero or a villain, or few archetypes people talk about. But intensity of the situation, intensity of the moment, and the dialogue and the effect it is having, human interaction, and that particular event or that particular dialogue is having a bigger connotation in the entire story. And if it is having a lot more to tell, then it is having scope for that as well. So acting, when we create characters, some people are more into backstories. They do a lot of research, they write a lot of things regarding each and every character. Even if they are not going to use those things, they are doing meticulous research regarding the characters, backstories, and then their conflicts, their reason for conflicts, and psychological aspects, sociological aspects, how they fit into the situation, how they fit in the society, how they fit in the storyline, if I say so, the diegetic world. So when you do that, many people are driven by that because they are doing a lot of research, and it is like when you are looking at the script, that is only a tiny little bit you are showing or you can relate to, but behind that there is a lot. For some people, they are not doing backstories much, rather they are straight away going to the writing process. They are writing those characters, they are writing those roles. Some people are using a lot of cards, and they are using scenes and sequences, and then they are gradually developing it. Sometimes it is like a gardener approach. You are having a seed and it is like you are having a garden, like a script. Sometimes it is like an architect. You are having a foundation and then you are building the story from that. And so many ways you can write a story, so many ways you can think about a character, about the situation, how the characters will play with each other. You can do all these things. But what we start with today is acting, and endless. This is endless, what you can bring to this profession, what you can bring to yourself through acting, what you can do to the world through acting, the well-being and the satisfaction you get while doing your acting practices, being an actor. So it is like, for many people it is like success, failure. Obviously that is true for this industry and this profession. Some people are succeeding, some people are not. But the intensity, the rigor, the grit you put in that entire process, in this development of an actor, exercises, practices, what you do to make yourself a better actor, there is no end to it. And a script will give you an opportunity. Otherwise, sometimes people are playing with improv, and sometimes you are having specific directions. We have discussed all these things, but as an actor, your life, your exploration, your understanding, your repertoire, you should expand it, and you should be with people who can help you to do that. That's why we don't talk to each and everyone. And sometimes, I need to mention this, some people are looking at a lot of mediocrity, not mediocrity, but mediocre stuff, or so-called substandard stuff, if I say so, because you are talking about the best in class acting, and then you are looking at some acting performances which are not that great, or maybe in terms of the society, or whether it is successful or not, those are mediocre performances, but you can still learn from that. But that should not be a narrative. You're actually learning from that. You're getting a lot from that. You are practicing, you are understanding the characters, you are understanding human emotions. Then you can bring a lot to your own work. You can discuss a lot of things with others. And the thing is, this profession and how you treat yourself, how you behave, how you do your practices, many people won't understand it. Many people won't relate to it. So we keep it to ourselves. We keep it to a circle who can understand it, people who can relate to it. They have gone through it. And there is a lot of fun in that. It is not like that we are not talking to people, but we can have a lot of inspiration from people, and we can have a lot of inspiration from life. And ultimately, when we put the work to the marketplace, they are the ones who are going to watch it. So relatability is a big factor. It is not like based on whims we are doing something whether they like it or not. They can relate to the characters, they can relate to the situations, they can relate to the story, and we can do a lot, as an actor, as a filmmaker, as a writer. But a writer, I think, I won't mention whether it's discipline or not, and sometimes artistic madness, discipline, whatever you call it. We have all these things, in life, in our processes. So it's a difficult life for a writer. And when you are writing it, you are writing great characters, great situations, great roles, and great stories. And then the actors are getting their part. Even it can be a small part, and they are still playing that part. And people will criticize. Some people are meant to do a lot of talks. Some people are meant to delve deep into this profession. They want to do the practices. They want to become actors. They want to do good work. They want to teach. They want to discuss. They want to, build a community where we can discuss acting, where we can build the knack for cinema, the passion for cinema. We can build the environment like that, so that you are watching a lot of movies, you are criticizing, you are having differences of opinions, you are having a lot of fun doing so, and you are learning from each other. There is competition, obviously there will be competition, but the work itself is so important. And people who understand it, they will always understand it, and people who don't understand it, they will always do a lot of talks, a lot of criticisms. But these things, we don't do it here. So what we can do using Hok Aloron, what we can do is, we can make use of this. We can make use of this. We have already made use of this. We will make use of this, but this is not the end of it. Why we are doing this? Who are we doing this for? So all these sometimes unnecessary questions people come with. But people who look at this, people who understand this, they understand that it is having a larger significance. It is having something which is related to something we all love: cinema, profession, business, art. And we play a lot of games, we have a lot of fun, we respect our profession, we respect the passion we have for cinema, we respect being a fan. Being a fan means being a curious child who wants to look at other works, people who have gone before us. And that is the thing, we do all the time in cinema, in art. Then we can contribute in our own way to the filmmaking fraternity. Some people become authors, some people don't become authors, but they are still loving cinema. They have the passion for cinema, So we have a lot of things to discuss. And acting is something, people are drawn towards. Oh, you are an actor, that means this. Oh, you are an actor, that means this. But what we talk about here is, and you already understand, so we straight away go to the discussions only. Sometimes whatever we do, tiny little things of madness, we are doing this, we are taking the plectrum and we are looking at it. That can call for a great cinematic moment if you know how to use it. But for many people, for laymen, for fans, for critics, this doesn't have any value. This doesn't have any importance. But for people, it can be of importance. And then if you have a guitar, chords, and how you play the chords, how you have colors, how you have a lot of things to play with, notes, chromatic scale, diatonic scale, then your pentatonic scale. So all these things you can play with when you play an instrument. So I was singing the other day, and it depends on the mood as well. So you need to, as a professional, you need to create the mood. You cannot always look for the mood. So you create the environment, you create the situation, you create yourself like that. So you can instantly go to the mood when you have to give a performance, you know. So that is also part of the professionalism and practice. But so you have the basic chords, you have the tough chords, you have the scales, you have a lot of things to play with. Guitar can be one instrument, but when you are practicing guitar, you are playing songs, you are doing licks, you are doing your practices, using fingering, using, you know, whatever you want to do. You want to play a song, you want to play a scale, you want to play a instrumental piece, you want to do whatever you want to do. You can do so much. But sometimes you can just pick up the guitar, it can be for fun. And that is also important. Sometimes you may not know a lot about all these things, but you are just having a chord and you are feeling like singing a song. Oh, I love you so much, I cannot be without you. We can do all these things, you know, sometimes for fun. And these little moments, the more we enjoy it, the more we look for it, the more we want to have it, you know. We can write about those scenes, we can write about those performances, we can write about those characters. We can tell people to practice more, we can tell people to improve, we can tell people to do the hard work, and we can eventually come up with a great movie. So this is a lot of fun of this profession, and when you really love it, you can give it a lot. So acting, music, performances, art, and so many things you can do in life. Bring all these things to acting, performances, whatever you can do. You know? If you have that passion, it will be reflected on screen. And with a good director, it is even more like satisfactory, successful, passionate, and a great thing you can do, you know. And sometimes you choose your own movie, and a great thing we can do in this art, acting, and cinema. We need to respect this. Even if we are not doing something, even if we are just having our doubts, even if we are thinking about doing something, maybe we cannot do it, but we are thinking about doing something. Conflict, we don't have to be perfect all the time. Imperfection, we can enjoy imperfection as well. We don't have to be this and that, you know, so that people will like us, people will do this. That is the fun of stories, that is the fun of cinema, that is the fun of life, you know. We are enjoying the imperfections, we are enjoying the moments, the conflicts, and then we are building a story around it. We are building a story where we can reach a resolution, we can ask a question, we can have so many things. We can just show people a particular time, some characters, and you know, their interplay. Or maybe there can be a plot moving forward from this to this. There can be a great moment, a tapestry of great moments, a sequence of great moments, eventually building to suspense, you know, thriller, something you are not expecting, surprise elements, so many things we can do. But as an actor, when you go through all these things, inspiration, life, relationships, it shapes you as a human being, as an actor. I have mentioned it, I won't mention it again, but you know, you can relate to it. You can relate to the characters. So as a writer, it's a lot more important, because as a writer, you need to create it from scratch, or even if you are adapting it, you need to do it for the cinematic, you know, storytelling purposes. for an actor, sometimes it is easier, but that doesn't mean that we are becoming, lazy, or you are becoming disrespectful for the work or for the director. So that is not something we desire or looking for, but we have our moments, in a shooting process. But somebody is writing, we are acting, we have a responsibility we are sharing together to make the movie, and professionalism, and what to adapt, what to work on, and how we can make a movie we can be proud of. And we should not be frustrated about something. I have mentioned it, we should not be frustrated about something while making the movie or after making the movie, because there is always a next movie coming. We can have that attitude. If this movie is not that good, we can look forward to the next movie. But we are learning in the process, how we can do the work in a great way. So yeah, directing, acting, writing, singing, costumes, makeup, hairstyles, so many things we can do. But that is life.